Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2023 Nissan ARIYA. This vehicle is sitting on 235/55 Dunlop tires wrapped around 19-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. Now this one is in the two-tone black and blue. So there's a mostly gloss black. Almost all the black on it is gloss. And it's a really cool blue color. It has like a metal flake in it. And it's not overly bright. It's a nice deep blue. And looks good with the black. So here in the front, you can see this glossy section where there's no grille. It's basically what they're calling it. They call it a shield, which is pretty cool. And it has like a little pattern in it as well. And the badge lights up at night. You got to check out my night video. It's really cool. There's also one of the cameras right below it, kind of hidden. Really nice placement for one of the cameras. There's parking sensors here in this gloss black portion. You see one there. There's another parking sensor there, and also active air vent there that goes into the wheel well. There's airflow down here at the bottom for the cooling system and air conditioning, climate control, that kind of stuff. The fog lights are an LED projector. And the headlights, really impressive looking headlights. You gotta check out my night video. It has a whole bunch of little projector headlights kind of stacked up in there, and they do a great job of illuminating the road. The turn signal and the daytime running lights are in this long section here, and they're looking really nice as well at night. First port is here on the passenger side front, and it does have a little light right here. And it's kind of interesting because it has these covers that cover up the actual places where you plug in, and they're nice and tight and seal up the areas nicely. So instead of having the seal on the inside of the door, they just like go ahead and cover them up directly. With the color of this blue, it's kind of hard to differentiate the gloss black. So it does have a gloss black portion at the bottom. It goes over each wheel well, and then here at the base of the side of the vehicle, and then around that wheel well, and then continuing there in the back. And it goes good with the black wheels as well. Now it does have a blacked out side mirror. Pillars are also blacked out. And then you can see it has this continuous line right here. It goes all the way across from front to back on the vehicle. It looks pretty good. This is what the key looks like, and it's quite a bit different for a Nissan key from what I'm used to. It has lock, unlock, the ability to open up the power liftgate, and a panic button here. It has the fairly new Nissan emblem on it. There's also a physical key that slides out as well. You can reach it there. Now the key's a little bit heavier than the previous key that they used to have, but it's definitely more solid feeling and better quality feeling. It's not overly heavy, and it's not overly huge, so it fits in the pocket perfectly, and I really do like this new design that Nissan has. Locking and locking the door is pretty straightforward, but for Nissan it's a little bit different actually, because a lot of the previous years they just had a single button to lock and unlock. This one, you lock here and then you unlock by putting your hand behind the handle, which is a little bit different for Nissan, but it's pretty much in line with the rest of the market. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. So you'll notice that the door goes all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, all the way down here. So when we open the door, you can see that it has a seal right in here, and it kind of seals up and tries to keep this threshold a little bit cleaner than it would otherwise be if it wasn't sealed up. Here's the inside of the passenger side door, and we have a two-tone on the inside as well, so lighter and darker colors here. And this is all soft touch here. This is like a vinyl type material, same with this. This is hard touch. This is an injected molded type material, and then the rest of the door is the hard touch there at the bottom. This handle is also enclosed. You can utilize it as a pocket, and then there's large pockets there at the bottom. And then these, there's a speaker grill here, but there's this accent light right in here. At nighttime it illuminates, it looks cool. Got to check out the night video. There's an illuminated sill plate here. power seat here on the passenger side, and you're able to go up and down, as well as tilt forward to back and tilt the back as well. So it has a pretty good amount of functionality for a passenger seat. Now it has a simulated leather texturing here, or simulated leather here, and then where it meets up with the plastic, it's cloth. And this is a synthetic suede, and it's not a super thick pile, so you don't see the lines in it as much, but it looks good and it feels good. And then you have the perforated portions here, and these are heated as well, heated seats. Heated in the back as well too. Plenty of legroom, check it out. Completely, almost completely flat floor. And the floor mat goes all the way across. There's a little illuminated place here as well, looking nice. Glove compartment, it's a non-locking glove compartment, but it's pretty interesting because it's felt lined and it has like this door, and then it goes in there quite a ways. So it goes way back in there here. So you can see it's pretty good size, and it's just a little bit different. So you can pull stuff out and just kind of rest it on this little tray right here if you wanted to. And there's another tray, which we'll see in a few minutes. And you can see it has like this simulated wood grain here, and there's some buttons there in the center, and those are really cool. They're just soft touch buttons, but they have some haptic feedback and they feel really nice. There is some copper going on right here on the vents, soft touch dash like a vinyl material, and then a hard touch non-reflective dash at the top. So you can see the opening to the door is great here in the front. The swing of the door is nice, plenty of room to get in and out. Same thing with the back. The swing of the door is perfect, plenty of room to get in and out of the vehicle, and the seat is a decent height off the ground, so it's like perfect height to get in and out. So very comfortable front and back. So here's the inside of the back door. Very similar styling, soft right here, here, and here, and the rest of it is the hard touch. Illuminated sill plates here in the back as well. Basically a bench seat with a little tiny bit of bolstering, but mostly flat. Does have cup holders, armrest. Move that out of the way. Also under here is the latch system for the car seats. I like the way it has this flap, lifts up, access them easily, and then you can put that down and cover them up without any kind of covers or plastic pieces to lose, that kind of thing. Completely flat floor here in the back. Really nice. Plenty of room, you can get comfortable easy. And this console you can move forward and back, but it's also kind of dished out underneath it, so that way it kind of gives you that extra leg room if you want to get comfortable. The back of both front seats are like a cloth type material, and they have this the mat pockets on both the driver and the passenger. There's heated seat controls. It's a 3-stage heated seat here in the back, and you have a USB-A and USB-C ports there, and climate control vents with the wood grain. And you can see some copper accents there. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, starting here at the top, it actually has 2 shark fin antennas, gloss black, and then it has this rear spoiler with airflow that can go underneath it, and the third brake light is located there at the top of the glass. There's also a camera located right in here. For some reason it's a little bit offset, so it's right in this area here, and that's for the rear view camera system. The rear view mirror turns into a camera as well. It does have the rear wiper. The backup camera location is not all that great. I mean, it's right underneath this S. It's kind of in with the tag. I wish it would be like mounted in the center right in here, and then that other camera in the center, but that's the way they did it. There's parking sensors back here as well. You can see them integrated into the black portion. And then you have reflectors down here, and the tail lights are really nice. They go from the side of the vehicle all the way one piece. They call it, I think they call it a blade, which is pretty cool. And it looks nice at night, and it's very effective as well. It has the amber turn signals, and you can check out my night video because it's nice. Okay, so lifting up the power lift gate, we can just use the button on the key, or we can push right here and lift it up. And it has that hard plastic on the inside here. And then a shade that lifts up. So if you have the seats all occupied with passengers, this is your cargo space. And it has a shade that you can take out if you want to. There's a light on both sides. There's a little storage cubby on the left side and the right side. Has a single bag holder here. I wish I had a bunch of bag holders. That'd be helping out going to the grocery store. There's a tie down there as well. Now, this floor has the ability to go up and down. So we can kind of take it and move it down like this. We can take this one, move it down there as well. Now it has these safety straps on them, but kind of gets in the way sometimes, as you can tell. All right, there we go. All right, so now we've lowered it. It's hard to do it with one hand, but we've lowered the floor lower, so that way you can have more height or depth or whatever for your cargo. You can actually take these out. You just have to take those straps off. You can take these out completely if you wanted to. You can also flip this front one here. You can take it and just flip it up like so, and it kind of serves as a divider, which is handy. So you can put, if you have a small amount of groceries, you put here. That way it keeps it more contained. So that's a nice feature. Subfloor lifts up, and then you have a tire inflator kit with this huge styrofoam piece. And you can take this styrofoam piece out. It's just sitting in there, but it is massive. So that's taking up a lot of cargo space. So that's something you might want to consider as far as subfloor cargo space. Take out this center little screw right there, and this whole thing can come out. Maybe even put a spare tire, I'm not sure. So this one comes with a 220 and 110 level 1, level 2 charge cable. And I have a separate video showing you my experience with it and also fast charging this vehicle if you want to check it out. So you can fold these seats down. It's a 60-40 split. So you can fold down one seat or the other depending on your needs to add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space. Now you can fold them both down, take the shade out, and have a wide open space back here for cargo. To turn the vehicle on, you just have to have the key inside the vehicle, hold the brake, and press this button. And basically it turns everything on. You have like this welcome screen here, looking nice. Everything turns on, and then it says ready to drive. You can see it says ready right there. And all we have to do is put it in gear and drive away. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. And I love the spaciousness here on the floor. So there's the accelerator and brake pedals, and then a footrest there on the left side. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch right here in the very center, right above the badge. Let's reach in, move it to the left, and lift up. And not very heavy hood. It does have insulation here. It does require a prop to hold it up though. And there's the prop here, and it swings up and goes right where that arrow is pointing. Now a lot of EVs have like a trunk up here or storage space up here under the hood. This one utilizes all this space for there's climate control, there's cooling systems up here, there's a battery up here, 12-volt battery, and they try to put as much stuff up here as possible to make way and make space for the passengers. So although you don't have a storage space up here, you do have a lot of space inside the vehicle. And you notice the front end of the vehicle is kind of short. So they're able to maximize the room and the cargo and just kind of cram everything here at the expense of a front cargo area. Blind spot detection system and rear cross traffic alert indicators, this little triangle here on the side mirror. So it's right there to illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. Now the inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have two presets for the power seat, and a little spoiler for the night video, these are not illuminated. And then here's the controls on the door. Now I have sometimes, because these are backlit illuminated, but the brightness is so dim that sometimes I have trouble seeing which is the lock and which is the unlock and stuff like that. So especially when there's a glare or reflection from the sun. But there's the they're all one touch up and down. So even the back windows, one touch down, that's as far down as it goes. And these are laminated windows here on the side as well, front and back. Side mirrors can be adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. You can also power fold them with the center button. You press it again to unfold. You can also set it to where when you lock the vehicles, they'll power fold as well. So the driver's seat, very similar to the passenger, except for it has the four-way lumbar adjustment. So you have the full controls there, just like the passenger side power seat, but you just add the four-way lumbar adjustment. These are heated seats, as we mentioned before, but they're not cooled. To the left of the steering column, you do have the ability to raise and lower the headlights, the low beam headlights. And I showed that in the night video. It's really handy. So you can, if you're going up and down hills, or if you just have a lot of cargo in the back, sometimes your lights might be too high and blinding people, so you can adjust it down or up depending on your needs. You also have the ability to turn on or off the Pro Pilot, basically the steering assist system, where it keeps you in the center of the lane. You can quickly go to that, and also your heads-up display you can turn on or off here. Your brake hold, you can turn it on or off. It has a little status light. And then this is the delay, how many hours you want to delay before you charge, or you can turn it off. There's very little settings as far as charging the vehicle, and I have a separate video talking about my charging experience, talking about that. And then this is to open up the power lift gate. It also has a tilt and telescoping steering column that you lock in place here. Heads-up display is fantastic. I think it's one of the best that I've experienced. It's very sharp, very clear, not overly cluttered, and it's logical. The placement of everything is in a logical place, and it's able to take away things when it's not necessary. It doesn't leave a bunch of stuff up there and illuminate it when needed. It just brings it up, and when it's not relevant, it takes it away. So it's really, really good heads-up display. Sitting in the driver's seat, checking it out, I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. Now, I noticed that there's lots of floorboard space, but between that accelerator pedal and here, it's a little bit narrower than what I thought it was going to be. It's not like super cramped or anything, but it just seems like it could be a little bit more space. I think this kind of gets in the way a little bit, but you know, as it is, it's okay. But I was just a little bit at first kind of surprised at how limiting the legroom at the very feet area is. But back here is just unlimited, basically. Same thing with the knee here, the knee area. Just overall legroom is fine. So yeah, I don't think most people will have a problem. And also I'm 6 feet tall. Now, I do have to put the seat almost all the way back. But, you know, I like to sit back further. So it depends on your preferences. So if you're a little bit over 6 feet tall, probably won't be a problem. Steering wheel, it is a leather wrap steering wheel, and it's flat here on the bottom. You notice it's all open here. There's no spoke in the middle. This is really handy when driving. So you have different hand positions possible here at the bottom. And really like the comfort. It has a little bit of a give to the steering wheel. Has the leather, the stitching here on the inside. Perforations, looking all sporty, and has the grips on the sides. So yeah, that thing did a great job on the steering wheel. I like the way just that openness at the bottom really is nice. So the steering wheel buttons are backlit. Now sometimes they're not super bright, so sometimes a glare or something might make them obscure. It's not a huge deal, but I just want to point that out. So here on the right side is the cruise control. You turn it on here, and then you can set, resume here, and then you push this in to cancel. Set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, answer the phone or hang up, it's the same button, and then this button for voice recognition. Now this has the Pro Pilot 2.0, a Pro Pilot Assist 2.0 system, and when that's activated, you don't have to hold the steering wheel. It'll actually hold the steering wheel for you. And when you're in that mode, you can press this button and you're telling the vehicle that you want to change lanes, and you do have to hold the steering wheel while you do that, but you can change lanes depending on which way you're going. So you just put the turn signal on, press that button, and I have a ProPilot Assist video separate, showing you what it's like on the highway and all that stuff, because you do have to be on special roads for that system to work. Here on the left side is the volume for the radio. Also, you can change to the tracks or presets on the radio depending on what you got going on there, or radio or like tracks on a media device, that kind of thing. This button, this OK, these arrows all correspond with the screen. We'll get to that in a minute. Windshield wiper controls are here, front and back. It does have automatic rain sensing windshield wipers as well. Here on the left side is the turn signal, but it also has the headlight switch. So it has the this is the fog light here, but right here it has off. But it doesn't turn off all the exterior lights. I'll show you that in the night video. Parking lights, headlights, and then automatic, and then there's your fog light. All right, so the gauges, there's a little button here on the very edge for brightness level. And the night video, kind of talk about some of the issues with that, and I demonstrated it's not 100% working right for some reason. Okay, so right in here, this screen is for basically the gauges. Like it typically would have gauges here, but it has a screen which is customizable. So right now it's showing your range, battery percentage. It shows your energy, whether you're using or consuming energy or producing it here for the regen going this way, or you know, pulling energy from the battery going that way. And then shows you your kilowatt hour consumption there per mile, what gear you're in, what drive mode you're in, whether it's ready to drive or not, outside temperature. Then you have your odometer, speedometer, and you have a digital speedometer and an irregular one, but you also have a kilometers per hour here in the corner that's always active. And you can swap those in the settings if you want to have kilometers per hour as your main unit. But you notice there's this little car here in the middle. So when you turn on the cruise control, it gives you information here while you're driving. And I'm trying to set it to show you, but anyways, while you're driving, it's going to show little lines here that show it representing the lines on the road and the vehicles in front of you, and you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you using the adaptive cruise control. Now it has 4 cameras that are behind on the windshield, behind the rearview mirror, but also there's a radar sensor in the grille in that shield area, and they work together, and so you have the adaptive cruise control, plus you have the ProPilot Assist 2.0 system where it actually steers the steering wheel for you. It has a lot of technology and a lot of safety features. So let's go ahead and use these buttons here. So first of all, I'm just going to scroll up and down in this one area. So you can see these are the different views here, and you see the little dots on the side. But if we scroll left and right, you can see that this is part of a menu system. And you can see the little icons pop up here. As I scroll to the right, this is the first one that we're in. The next one will be your energy levels, and you can scroll up and down in each one, get more information. Scroll to the right again, you get more information here. And you scroll using the wheel. Scroll to the right, you have the navigation map in here. You can also expand it, which we'll get to that in a second here. But you get the idea. There's little icons here. There's a radio, there's the safety systems, and then there's your settings that you can go into. If you go into the settings, you can scroll in here and change all this stuff. Heads-up display, vehicle settings, the clock, EV settings. Now there's not a lot of settings under the EV. It's basically pretty basic here. Alright, but if we push this button right here, little menu button, pop that up, and we can change meter view. Hit that, and has this alternate view. So you can have this view right here. So let's go back to the navigation map. You can see it's quite a bit bigger now, and everything's in a different spot. So you have your energy, your power consumption there, and then your digital speedometers here. So it's the same information. It's just kind of arranged a little bit differently, and expands the center view in the middle. So you can see it looks a little bit different. With the ProPilot Assist system activated, this is the best view because you can actually see other lanes and other cars, and you can check out my video on that ProPilot Assist 2.0 system. I go on the highway and I show you in detail how it works. The heads-up display, the screen here on a highway, and the hands-free and everything. So that's kind of a quick overview of the screen here. And once you get it set up, you don't have to change anything. You can just leave it where it is and drive the vehicle. It's not like you have to go in through all those settings all the time. You set it up the way you want it, and then you're good. Okay, so here is the touchscreen, and to the left of it, you see it has this button for day and night view. Quickly do that, and then you have this camera button. When we hit that, it has the surround 360 camera there, plus a view. This is the front view right now because we're not in reverse, but when we put it in reverse, it'll show the rear view. You can see my excellent parking job there. And so this is a really good camera system. The placement of the camera could be better, but as far as like the view and the way it's stitched together and everything, it's really handy, especially considering the blind spots this vehicle has, and I'll show you that towards the end of the video. All right, let's go ahead and put it in reverse. We're kind of skipping ahead a little bit, but I want to show you the backup camera there. So there's the backup camera. You notice the placement of the camera. This is where it's a problem, where you see a lot of the tag and it's underneath the lip of the vehicle, and you can see the lip hanging there, and when it rains there's like drips of water in front of it, and it's just not the best placement for the backup camera. And also, it's not center either. You see like more, it's on one side, it's not in the middle of the vehicle, but it does a good job of stitching it, so it's okay. Now when the camera's up, you can hit the camera button and get different views here. If you want that super wide view, you can have that. And when you have it in reverse, if you hit the camera button, it can give you that super wide view of the reverse, and just does away with the top-down camera. Main functionality of this touchscreen is that you have these icons here on the left side. This is the home screen, and it's basically a split screen between your navigation, your whatever audio device you got going on, and then you have different connections here. Now it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. So if you hit the home button, this is what you're going to see. Now if you scroll to the right like this, you're going to get more information. Here, here, here. It's kind of like widgets on your phone, that kind of thing. All right, if we go to navigation map, it shows the navigation, and it displays nicely. You can see it really nice, day or night. And it just fills the screen nicely. It's not a lot of wasted space, and it has useful, buttons around it. The next one will be your radio, and then you have your AM, FM, satellite radio, Bluetooth. So you have different sources here. Android Auto, USB 1, USB 2, Apple CarPlay, all that stuff. The next one will be your phone. Once you pair your phone, then you'll be able to send and receive calls, and gives you all your recent calls and your like phone book and stuff like that. This last icon here at the bottom is the full functionality of the climate control. You have some quick buttons down here, but this is where you can access everything. So if you want to sync the temperatures, you can do that in the screen, and then you have visual representation of where the air is flowing, the fan speed. You also have the heated steering wheel and all that stuff. So you also have heated seats here as well on the seats. So it's really handy to be able to just kind of visualize everything, and it has a good look to it. You can also have it driver only as well. So if you want everybody else to be not get the climate control except for you, you could do that. All right, so in any one of these screens, there's this little icon of a cog here. You can see it's in any one of these screens. You just hit that and you go into the settings. And the settings, connections for your devices, navigation settings, sound and beeps, system updates, which is over the air. You can customize your menu, and you can go into all the different things here. But the EV settings, kind of limited on some of the settings. It doesn't give you the ability to limit your full charge. It doesn't give you the ability to limit your charge rate, anything like that. And so it's a little bit, hopefully, since it's over the air updates, hopefully they'll be able to remedy that in the future. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the touchscreen. And so this is the volume knob. You can turn the radio off there. And then these buttons here, we saw the start the vehicle button, but these are for the climate control, driver temperature, passenger temperature, fan speed, front and rear defrosters, recirculate the air, and then you have the automatic function. And the way these buttons work, this is the flat surface, and you just press it, and it just like a touchscreen type thing. And it kind of gives you a little bit of a haptic feedback there. But sometimes, like, it depends on sometimes you feel a little bit better than others. But yeah, it's pretty neat. It looks really cool too. Just kind of looks futuristic. All right. So there's a 12-volt power supply down here, as well as USB charge ports, and a little place to put your cell phone or whatever down here. So you can like slip it in there, as well as a little place to wrap your cord. If you want to plug your phone in, you can wrap it around this little thing right here, like a little cable organizer. But it's kind of out of the way, especially if you have this this console moved forward. This is actually a button right here, and you can go forward and back with this console. Go ahead and move it forward. Now it's a little bit less accessible, that little spot there. So you know, it depends on your if you want to just put stuff there and you're not going to access it all the time, then you know, not a problem. So you'd have some cup holders here. Now these little things this doesn't come out. This little divider, I thought it did make it easier to clean, but you have this little spot in here for the cups, and it's kind of square, and this thing supposedly takes up the slack, but there's still some slack there. It doesn't really take up much slack. This is able to close. This is nice. So this closes up like that, like a roll top desk, and that looks really good. Alright, speaking of looking good, check out these buttons. So these is similar to that, in which they're just kind of like backlit on a smooth surface. This is where you can change your drive mode, auto park, e-step, which is your regen braking, and then open and close this little guy. So let's go ahead and open it. Press this button and hold it, and it pops out this. And from what I understand is you can prop tablets up here, or a phone up here, that kind of thing. Have a place to put your beverages or whatever while you're hanging out waiting for the vehicle to charge, that kind of thing. But also you can push this back, and then you have a much deeper pocket here. This goes way in there. I put my business cards in there so you can see how, because it kind of like turns into an abyss because it's kind of dark and it's felt lined. But yeah, it goes in there quite a ways. Now there's a light that doesn't go in there. It shines a little bit here. It actually shines down in the compartment when it is closed. When you push this back, this blocks the light, so then this is dark at night. So the light placement could be a little bit better. But yeah, this is kind of neat. It kind of slowly releases. And also you can close it like slowly. You know, you can press the button and stop it anywhere. So you can kind of stop it anywhere. So if you want to prop it up a little bit taller like that, like this, you know, or you can have more of an angle like that, you could do that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And also it's a nice, you know, secret hiding spot too. All right, so the shifter, it has that electronic shifter. And so basically you just kind of press this button here on the side, and then you can slide it. So let's go ahead and press the button, and you can see you go forward to go in reverse. Two things will happen. The camera system will pop up, but also you have the parking sensors. And also you have the automatic parking system. It actually does everything. Let's go ahead and do the auto park. So it's like the Park Pilot or something like that is what it's called. So basically what you do is you press this button here when you're next to some parking spaces. And these are empty parking spaces, but you can do it when there's cars there. So you press this button and it pops up here, and basically it tells you to try to find the location and point out on the screen where you want to park. So I'm going to stop here. All right, so let's go ahead and move a little bit more. All right, so there we go. Okay, so it sees that empty parking spot, and you can see it's perpendicular, not parallel. So you can press this. That's the one we want. And then we hit start. Now, it's basically going to do everything for you. Turn the steering wheel. Even puts the turn signal on. You can see it gives us a starting point right there. And then now it's turning the steering wheel. It put it in reverse. It's doing everything, basically. It's doing everything. Now it's probably gonna have to pull up. Yep, that's the first position. Now it's gonna pull up. Second position. That was kind of close to the parking spot. Now it can make it there. So it's changing gears. It's using the brake. It's doing everything. Turning the steering wheel and putting us into that parking spot. Then once it achieves that, then not only does it put it in park, but it also automatically engages the parking brake. So we're completely parked, ready to go. See, it does a lot better job at parking than I did. See that? Okay, so continuing this, we have neutral. Neutral is like, you barely move it like that. There we go. Neutral, and then drive. And then you pull it down again, and then you can go into B mode, which is engine braking type mode. So this is handy for if you're going down a steep hill and you need some engine braking to keep you from going too fast. I actually made a video talking about the different levels of regen, because the E-Step is not really a one-pedal drive system, but it's the most aggressive regen that the vehicle has. And then you change the drive modes to do that. But the B is a different gear, so it's a different type of deal. I mean, you could potentially use it for, you know, regen, a level of regen. It would be, if you did, it would be between E-Step and Sport, basically. All right, so this armrest is fairly soft, and it's kind of rubbery soft. Doesn't bottom out or anything. Has that copper accent on it. This lifts up, and it is snapped down. You have to press a button under here, and then you lift it up. And this is where you'll find a little storage cubby and a place where your cell phone charges. So when you place the phone in there, even with the case, it seems to be doing a good job. And you'll see once it recognizes the phone and starts charging, the little charge light is right here. So when this is closed, you can see whether it's charging or not here. And then when you take it out, the light goes out. Now this little cubby has this rubber compartment, a rubber mat that can take out, clean it, put it back in. That's very handy. The rear view mirror is also a rear view camera, and you can see behind the vehicle, and it has a full menu system for adjusting brightness. You can adjust the everything, even the language up here. So that's what these buttons here are for on the underside. It's basically a little TV screen, and you have a full menu functionality. I had that on like super bright, and it was kind of a little bit too bright. You'll notice that in the night video, but it works really well as far as your eyes seeing things around you when you have it bright. Right above that is a place to put your shades. It's a felt-lined compartment here and here. You can have interior lights. This is like a little reading. This is turn on all the light here. Press each one independently to just get the individual light for a reading light. You can turn on the this is for the brightness. So when you have the lights on and you hit that, you can change the brightness. You see it cycles through. Now, if you want the interior lights to turn on with the door, you just have this on. You can see a little on light there. So when I open up the door, There we go. So you can see the lights turn on. Now I had a problem opening that door because I can't see these door lock controls. It's hard to tell which one is which. With the light shining on it, the backlight is not enough to where it's hard to tell a difference there. But and that's been an issue with this vehicle ever since I started driving it. It's being able to see those lights. Since they're just the only way you can see them is the backlight portion. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so you have the roadside assistance here, and then the HomeLink garage door opener controls are there. This is for the power shade, power sunroof, which we'll get to that in a second. Visor has like a vinyl type material that matches the cloth headliner. There's a little clip here. Mirror, light. It also slides out. Same visor on the other side for the most part. Okay, so the sunroof, it has a power shade. So you press it one time and it'll open up halfway. And I like the way the shade covers 100% of the light. It doesn't have let any light in. Press it again, it goes the rest of the way back. So this is a massive panoramic sunroof. The back portion is fixed, the front portion moves. So let's go ahead and move the front portion up. Move it down and then back using that other switch. I like the way it has two switches. All right, press it again. Goes back a little bit further. Let me go forward. And then we can close the shade. Now when you press forward on the shade, it's gonna close right to there. Then you press it again to go all the way forward. So looking at the visibility in the back, you can see there's quite a bit of a pillar back there. And it's not really an issue as long as the camera is working. I did have, I don't know if it was an update or something going on, but the camera stopped working briefly. And right when I was gonna pull out of a parking spot, and I was like, wait a minute, this has a huge blind spot problem back there. I mean, it's just a huge pillar. These line up with the headrests of the seats, but man, those are just huge back there. And the window's kind of small. So something to get used to, but the camera system, the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, all that stuff helps out with driving a vehicle. It's not an issue with the camera system working and all that, but and the parking sensors as well. But yeah, it is a blind spot, a wide pillar, which could lead to a blind spot. Anyways, but thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or anything, leave it down there in the comment section. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. That would be great. Share this video if you've got some value out of it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.